Hi, I am wanting to talk today a little bit more and extend on boundaries. We've been talking about this topic lately and been having a lot of fun sharing just the different layers and different levels that I've experienced and what's worked well for me. And so today I want to talk about what I've been hearing and seeing. Sorry, the sun just came out there. The light just came on. I'm like, whoa. What I've been hearing and seeing of women, especially in the US, and how they interact or how they experience boundaries or how other people experience boundaries from them. And then I want to go into a little bit about why this might be happening. So it's interesting because we have been raised, and especially I was raised in the 80s. Those were my early times, and we were raised to be a little bit more on the doing side, a little bit more on the masculine side. And so when it comes to boundaries, it's an interesting mix because as a female, I believe, and as a child, you are told and expected to be nice, please, connect with others. And it's all about finding harmony with the group, even if it's at a cost to what you want to do. So the group matters more, and we're expected to please and be nice. So that's early childhood. Then when we go into schooling and we go through university and maybe start our first job, we are now being trained and we're being trained to be more in the doing and more in the masculine. And so sometimes what can happen when females move into this space is we may armor up, right? We may feel like we need to protect ourselves. We may fall into the trap of overdoing. So we've got both this armoring up, protecting ourselves, this overdoing, but then on the other side, we still have this need to please and for everybody to get along and to be nice. So I feel like it is very confusing and we're receiving a lot of mixed messages. At least that's what it felt like to me. And I feel like this can feed into and fall into boundaries as well. So when we're armored up, I found that we oftentimes show up and people experience us. We say we have boundaries, but our boundaries are not crystal clear and we have not honed in on them and mastered them yet. So what might happen? So on the inside, we actually are soft because we haven't really gotten clear and practiced enough. But on the outside, we're hard. And actually, I believe as females with our hormones and the way we are wired, I believe that we actually need to be the opposite. I believe we need to be soft on the outside, but hard on the inside. So what would this look like with boundaries? Okay, so let's say that I'm soft on the inside, but hard on the outside. So an example may be I'm talking with a friend and I've decided that it's time for me to share my boundaries and I need them to know exactly and explain exactly what my no's are and why I can't do this and why this is how they cross their boundaries so that they can know not to do it again. And a little disclaimer, a lot of times that rarely happens. So we are hard and coming very specific, very direct, right? Which is very much valued in the business world and in our careers and even in school, right? We're taught about communication and being direct and explaining and communicating clearly. So we may come communicating clearly, but then 2 days later, our friend does the exact same thing and we completely crater. And we think, in the back of our mind, we don't want to lose that friendship, or maybe, we just want them to be happy. And so we're going to do it again, right? So that's an example of being hard on the outside, but soft on the inside. And this can kind of get us into trouble, right? So let's look at a situation where we've learned how to be soft on the outside, but hard on the inside. So let's say that same situation. Your friend has crossed your boundary, or someone has crossed your boundaries. And so instead of feeling, maybe you explain once, or maybe you choose, hey, I don't really feel like I need to explain. And so let's say that this friend typically, I don't know, they have a habit of being late, and you know this. And now you're getting to a point where you can't really hang out for 30 minutes or keep rescheduling over and over and over. The way your life works right now, you just don't have time for that. And so one of your boundaries is that you have friendships that respect your time. So a way to be soft about this is maybe you've said it once, or you've sent it in a text saying, hey, I could really use your help. I have this boundary and I've kind of moved into a new phase. If you can let me know. So maybe you set up a lunch and you've already shared, or maybe you've just decided not to share at all. You show up, they end up, it's 20 minutes now and they're not there yet. This is where you're not upset. You don't make them wrong. You just politely send a text, hey, it's been 20 minutes. I actually have to go now. I hope we can catch each other another time. Boom, done. And this is a way to be softer with your boundary. This is also a way to soften and not armor up as much, right? It's to let that guard down, and hey, they're okay with where they're at, and you're okay with where you're at and what you need to be. This is where it is, and I would love to catch you the next time, or hope to catch you in the next time. So anyway, I hope this is helpful for you. I think when I first heard this, it took me a while, but I realized that I really was that woman. I was that woman that, was like, oh, I've got my boundaries, and, I'm going to explain to my friend that she crossed my boundaries, and once I explain it, then she's going to know. Apparently I haven't communicated it well enough. And so I was showing up very hard on the outside, but then when the time came and the friend did it again, a lot of times I would just follow through. I would fall through, and I would just be like, okay, it is what it is. Okay, fine. I'll just do whatever she needs to be done. But then that was not serving me over the long term. It can be done maybe once or twice, but more than twice, I really want you to take a deep look at what your true boundaries are and what you are looking for in things like friendships, etc. So I hope this was helpful for you, definitely, as you're practicing your boundaries and working through any of the 3 stages that I recently introduced the other day. Just be mindful. Be mindful of when you're talking about your boundaries. Are you armored up, or are you relaxed? When you speak your boundaries, are you clear and you're not, fumbling over your words, or if they're having a reaction, all of a sudden you pull back? Are you comfortable and, saying it in a loving way? And also, when you're doing your boundaries, are you showing up more on the hard part, but then you're soft on the inside? And how can we start to shift that? How can we start to shift to being more soft on the outside, but hard and crystalline clear, and holding our boundaries with ourselves? All right, ladies, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.